All right, so let's look at number 1. So number 1, if you are given an equation and it asks for the slope, it's simply the number that's being multiplied by x. So number 1, what number is being multiplied by x? It's 3, right? So number 1, the slope is positive 3. So the equations are the easiest ones to do because all you have to do is find whatever is being multiplied by x. Does everyone understand? All right, this is a challenging unit, so I hope you guys could print my problems. If not, you should be writing down stuff. You should be taking notes. You're writing right now a note to yourself how to find the slope of an equation. It's the number multiplied by x. Okay. All right, number 2, remember we have to do rise over run. How tall the triangle is goes over the width. So how tall it is 8. What's the run? 3. And that's the answer. And because this line is going up and to the right, it's positive 8/3. If it were going down and to the right, it would be a negative slope, right? All right, number 3, we're going to find the change in y over the change in x. So we're going to go this way first, change in y over the change in x. All right, so how do I get from 3 to 2? How do I get from 2 to 1? I subtract 1, subtract 1, subtract 1, right? How do I get from -4 to -2, -2 to 0, and 0 to 2? I would add 2 each time, right? So then remember, y goes on top. So what do you see for y? You see -1 over +2. So the slope is -1/2, right? You can write it like that. You can write it with a negative in front, or you could even write with a negative in the denominator. It doesn't matter as long as you have one negative. Now, if you had 2 negatives, so just sidebar, if this was -2, I mean -1, -1, -1, and this was -2, -2, -2, and then if you put -1 over -2, what's a negative divided by a negative? That would actually be positive 1/2, okay? So just be careful if you end up with 2 negatives on both sides and you write it as a fraction, to simplify that, it's positive 1/2, okay? So that's not what we had here, but you will find that eventually. All right, and then on Tuesday, we talked about vertical and horizontal lines. So we talked about vertical lines have undefined slopes, and there's only an x in the equation. So since this is a vertical line, the slope is undefined. We also talked about horizontal lines. Horizontal lines have a 0 slope, and there's only a y in the equation. So horizontal lines have a 0 slope. The answer is 0. Okay, so number 1 is 3, number 2 is 8/3, number 3 is -1/2, -4 is undefined, and number 5 is 0. Who got 100? Who got 100? Celebrate good times. Come on. Okay. No, not gonna work. Okay. Good job, Lynette. Good job. Oh no. Oh, I forgot to, dang it. I forgot to record. Did I, or am I recording? Oh, I am recording. Oh, good. At least I have my song on the video. That's good. All right. So what is our learning target today? So Ireland, I see your message. So I'm recording it. So hopefully if you have to go back and watch it later, it'll be a better recording for you. Okay. All right, so today I will identify the slope in equations, graphs, and tables. So we're continuing on from where we started on Tuesday. So we talked about these on Tuesday, right? These are the ones that are easy for us, correct? If it's an equation, and I keep saying as whatever the number is that's being multiplied by x is the slope. And that is true, but it's only true when the equation is in this form, y is by itself, okay? So for all of these, y is by itself. And we stopped here on Tuesday. We said that the slope of the first one is 2, right? What's the slope of the second one? Good. Awesome. 1/4 is the slope of the second one. What's the slope of the third one? 4, not 6, because 4 is being multiplied by x. What about the slope of the next one? Be careful on the next one. Oh, y'all remembered. Fantastic. If you tell me it's 1/3, it's not right. It's negative 1/3. Okay. And then here's our little exceptions to the rule. We have Vux Hoy. Vux Hoy. That means vertical lines have an undefined slope and there's only an x in the equation. So if you only see an x, if I graph this, is going to be a vertical line. So hopefully you'll remember Vux means undefined. My slope is undefined. And the word Hoy in this situation means that horizontal lines have a 0 slope and there's only a y in the equation. So this represents a horizontal line and it has a 0 slope. Okay. All right. So I don't remember what I said this for. Constant rate of change is slope. Oh, these are all things you can call slope. Slope can be found, called a constant rate of change, the rate of change. It can be called a proportional relationship, and it can talk about the measure of change. All of those words kind of are all asking slope. Okay. Now I did tell you that slope is the number multiplied by x as long as y is by itself. So sometimes you're going to see a problem where y is not by itself and you have to solve for y. So just like all equations, to get something by itself, you got to cancel out what is sharing the side with the whatever you're trying to solve for. In this situation, anytime we're talking about slope, we are wanting to solve for y, okay? We want y by itself. That means I want to get rid of this positive term, the whole thing. I don't want to break it apart. I just want to move the whole term to the other side. So how do I cancel out a positive term, any positive term? What do I do? You subtract. Exactly right. So listen, I don't want to pull it apart. I don't want to divide by 4 and pull the x and 4 apart. I want to cancel out this whole term. And the only way to do that is to subtract the whole term from both sides. Okay. Does that make sense? If I say 4x minus 4x, I get nothing. And that's what I want. So now what do I have on the left side? Y equals. Now these are unlike terms. I can't add the 2 and the 4 together. So I simply have to write this out in a horizontal line. And I'm going to write negative 4x minus 2. I just make it one long math sentence. Okay. And I could have written minus 2 minus 4x, and that's totally fine as well. It's totally fine. But we're going to start getting used to writing equations in this form. Okay, it's just the easy, when we start graphing, we're going to want it to say y equals something times x plus or minus a number. Okay, so that's why I always write my x first. But the second means the same as what I just wrote. All right, let's do another one of those. We're trying to, oh, shoot. And the point of that was to figure out what the slope was. So what was the slope? So my answer was y equals negative 4x minus 2. So what is my slope? What is my slope? Good, Lynette. Good, Penelope. Only 2 of you know my slope in this equation right here? Good, Jaden. Now 3 of you know my slope. What about the rest of you? How do I find the slope in an equation? It's the number multiplied by x. So what number is being multiplied by x now that I wrote it in y equals form? Negative 4, right? So my slope is negative 4. Okay, let's try another one. If you don't have these notes printed, please write this down. Okay. All right, so once again, we want y by itself. The first thing we have to get rid of is minus 3x. How do you get rid of any negative term? How do you get rid of any negative term? Anyone? How do I get rid of a negative term, guys? I'm going to add it, right? I'm going to add I'm going to add 3x to both sides of my equal sign. I'm going to add 3x to both sides of my equal sign. Okay, so negative 3x combined with positive 3x is 0. So I'm going to bring down my 2y equals my 3x is positive, 3x, and my 10 is positive. So I'm writing 3x plus 10. You got it? All right, so now I'm not finished yet because y is not by itself. Y is being multiplied by 2. So how do I get rid of times 2? What's the opposite of multiplying by 2? I'm going to divide by 2. So guys, let's look at this. Everybody look at the screen. I'm going to divide every single term by 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2, this by 2, and 10 by 2. Okay. So those of you taking notes, thank you. Make sure you write that 3 times because there's 3 terms. Got it? All right. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 times y is y. Now look, I'm going to keep this in fraction form. I'm not going to turn this to 1.5. I'm leaving it 3 over 2x. See how I wrote that? 3 over 2x. And then what's 10 divided by 2? Positive 5. All right. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. Am I going too fast for anyone? No. All right. So now I have it in y equals form. Someone tell me, please, what is my slope? Yes. 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 Good. 3 over 2. My slope is 3/2. Now, when I looked at my original equation, if I told you the slope was -3, that's not correct. And it's not correct because it isn't in the form y equals mx plus b. Okay. All right. Let's try another one. Does anybody need another second on that one? Anyone? Anyone? Nope. Okay. Try another one. All right. Everybody write this down. All right. So what are we trying to get by itself? We're trying to get y by itself. So what is on the side with y? Plus 5. How do I get rid of plus 5 or a positive 5? How do I get rid of positive 5?
Abby Pritchard, please come to the front office to check
Yep.
out.
I'm going to subtract 5. I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides of the equal sign. This is gone, right? Do I have my y by itself? I'm going to bring down y equals and 4x. 4x is positive. 4x minus 5. Am I finished? Is y by itself? Yep, y is by itself. So now, what is my slope? It is 4, right? All right, that one was a lot easier, wasn't it, than the second one? That one was easy. All right, you guys okay with those? Do you want me to make it one more example or can we move on? If any one of you wants one more example, we'll do one. Okay, good. So I'm going to ask for one more example. I don't think I have another one. Nope, I don't. All right, so let's do this one. Let's do, I don't know, 3y plus 12x equals 6. All right, everybody write that down, please. All right, what do I want by itself? What letter, X or Y? Y. So Good. What am I going to get rid of first? What whole term am I moving? What whole term am I going to move? I want all of 12x to go away, right? How do I get rid of positive 12x? I'm going to subtract 12x. I don't want to pull it apart. I want to move the whole term together. So I'm going to subtract 12x from both sides. So far, so good. All right. Now I got rid of my 12x, gone. I'm going to bring down 3y equals. Now I always want to write the x thing first. So I'm going to write negative 12x, and that's a positive 6. All right, how we doing? Now what do I have to pull away from the y? What's the only way to get that 3 away from the y? Yep. I'm going to divide. I'm going to divide by 3. If they're stuck together, that means it's being multiplied. We're going to do the opposite. So we're to pull them apart. We're going to divide every single term. When you divide, guys, you divide every single term by the digit. Okay. All right. So this goes away. Y equals, who can beat me? What's the answer? What's negative 12x divided by 3? Negative 4x. Right? Negative 12 divided by 3 is negative 4. And then what's 6 divided by 3? Positive 2. And that is the answer. Okay, guys? All right, now I sent y'all a video yesterday to help you do yesterday's work. I hope you watched that. Were you guys able to see that video? Good. One person at least. All right, so now y'all remember how we found slope when we have a graph? Do you remember what we do? And this was your homework or your daily work yesterday. Y'all had 10 problems similar to these, right? So what are we going to do with our pencil? We're going to make a right triangle. We're going to make a right triangle. And then just like our warm-ups, these are just like our warm-up problems, right? We do rise over run. How tall is my triangle and how wide is it? So on this one, how tall is my triangle? 1, 2, 3 over 2. And the last thing you have to ask yourself, is this a positive 3 over 2? Is it positive? Yep, all of these are actually positive. I don't know why I did that, but I did. All right, the time I would say be careful when you do a triangle, rise over run. These are not always counted by ones. See, these are counted by ones, but look at this triangle over here, guys. This number would be 6, do you agree? And this number is 12. So this isn't 3 units tall. How tall is that side? These are counted by 2. So 2, 4, 6, no, 2, 4, 6. It's 6 units tall, right? And then you got to pay attention to what these are numbered by. This was from 5 to 10. So what is this length here from 5 to 10? 5, exactly right. So this one's 6 over 5. So those can be tricky. You got to pay attention to how your number lines are being numbered, okay? All right, I'm going to move on just because of the lack of time. Anyway, this is just more practice. We were going to just practice a little bit more. All right, so let's look at the unit rate up here. And so you learned in 6th grade and again in 7th grade, unit rate means how much for 1. Do y'all remember that from 7th grade? Unit rate is how much for 1. Okay, so like if you're driving down the car, you're going 60 miles per hour. In 1 hour, you should go 60 miles, right? If you're buying bananas at the store, they're going to charge you so much money per pound, okay? So it says Sarah buys 3 boxes of chocolate for $3.75. What is the unit rate? Write an equation. What is the slope? So is 3.75 our unit rate? No, it's not, because that's not for 1, that's for 3. So how am I going to find out my unit rate? How would I find how much for 1, guys? Do I add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Yep. You always divide to find unit rate. So if I made a T-chart, oh, that was supposed to be straight. All right, if I bought 0 chocolates, I'm going to spend $0. I want to know how much, if I buy 1 chocolate, how much will I buy? I know if I buy 3 boxes of chocolates, I pay $3.75, which is very cheap for chocolates, by the way. It's a good deal. So how do I figure out how much for 1? Somebody tell me. Anybody? People? Does anyone know? Well, what happens if I divide $3.75 by 3? What do I get? Yes, Harlan, thank you. $1.25. Oh, you were so close. Yeah, we're dividing. 1.25. So if I divide 3.75 by 3, I'm going to get $1.25 per box. That means 2 boxes would be $2.50. I just doubled these numbers, and 3 boxes would be $3.75. So what does Y equal? How did I get the value of Y every time? What did I multiply my X values by? Did I multiply 1 times 1 to get $1.25? Is 1 times 1, 1.25? Nope. 1 times what is $1.25? $1.25, exactly. So you take your unit rate and that becomes part of your equation, because 1 times $1.25 is $1.25. 2 times $1.25 is $2.50, so on and so forth, right? So this is my equation, and I have to find the unit rate so I know what to use in my equation. Does that make sense? All right, here's a good question for you guys. You're given a table and an equation. The question is, which of these has the greatest rate, or the slope, excuse me. Which of these, the table or the equation, has the greatest slope? Do we know the slope of either one of them? What do you think, Jaden? What's the slope of either one of them? Go ahead, Jaden. It looks like you're raising your hand, Jaden. Were you going to tell me? I can't tell what.
How many? 5.
Oh, 5? Oh,
Yeah.
you're telling me the table is 5? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were just raising your hand. Good, good, good. All right, so how did he get 5? So he said, okay, well, let's do the rate of change. I'm sorry, the change in Y over the change in X. So the change in Y is plus 5 over 1. That's exactly right. So the rate of change, or the slope of this table, is 5. Do we know the slope of the equation, guys? Yeah, we do. That's the easiest one, right? When Y is by itself, the rate of change is multiplied by X. So which one is greater? Is 5 greater than 4.5, or is the opposite true? Is 4.5 greater than 5? Which one's true? Yep, the top one, right? So it's the table. The table has the greatest slope. Okay, see how that works? Any questions? No questions, anybody? Are y'all listening to me and participating? Seems like a couple of you might be playing video games or something. I'm not really sure. All right, I just want y'all to hear me because I want you to do well on your next test, guys. And I know this unit can be a little difficult. All right, so you're gonna really start graphing. I have a slide deck for you on, I think it's tomorrow, it must be, about starting graphing. But I did want to just talk to you real quick about it just so you have an introduction to graphing on a coordinate plane. Because next week you're actually going to be doing that in Kami, okay? So this is what I've been talking about all this time about slope. This is called slope intercept form. So when y is by itself, when you have a number multiplied by x, that's your slope. We all know that right now, right? And then you always have a plus or minus another number. That plus or minus another number is called the y-intercept. And like if you were going down the road and you said, hey, let's stop at the next intersection, what are you talking about? What is the intersection of a road? Well, isn't it where two roads cross each other? Yeah. So y-intercept simply means where your line crosses the y-axis. So everybody knows that vertical axis is our y-axis. And wherever it crosses the y-axis, that's the y-intercept. So on this graph right here, does everyone see that the y-intercept is 4? You see that? Okay, so the y-intercept is 4. What about this graph down here, guys? Somebody typed me, or more than one of you, please. Tell me what the y-intercept is down here on this graph. Give me a number where that purple line crosses the y-axis. Right here. What is this number right here? Is it 1? Y'all are telling me 1. It crosses right here at 1. No, it's -1, right? Yeah. So on this graph, I don't know what my slope is right now, something times x, but I know my y-intercept is +4. Okay. I almost have written the entire equation just by looking at where the y-intercept is. On this graph down here, I'm not sure what the slope is yet, but I know it's a number times x, and I know that the y-intercept is -1. And now, do you guys know how to find the slope when you're given a line on a graph? Yeah, of course you are. You already know that, right? You make 2 dots and you make a right triangle. So we do rise over run. How tall is this triangle? 1, how wide is it? 2, and is this a positive line or a negative line? It's going down and to the right, so the slope is -1/2. So the equation for this line is -1/2 x plus 4. Okay. All right, what about this line down here? I see this is an exact coordinate right here, and this is right here. So once again, if I make a triangle, I have the same slope, don't I? 1/2. Is this positive or negative? This line, is it positive or negative? It's a negative. It's going down and to the right. So what is my slope again? -1/2. So this equation for this line is -1/2x minus 1. Okay. Now this isn't a great one to do right here because my y-intercept isn't a whole number, is it? We could guess our y-intercept's about -2 1/4, maybe. I'm not exactly sure. So I would never give you a graph like this and tell you to write an equation. I would make sure my slope is a whole number, okay? But the reason I had put on this one here is because we were going to talk about similar triangles, but really we already have. We have talked about similar triangles. So for example, if I use this triangle, I would say my slope is 1, 2, 3, 4/3. Or if I didn't use those 2 dots, I used these 2 dots like this. Well, now I would say my slope is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 8/6. But doesn't 4/3 equal 8/6? It's the same thing, isn't it? So that's one of the questions you have on your test are about similar triangles, and that's what it means. It means, are these two slopes the same? And what is the answer? Are those two slopes the same? Yep, they are, right? Okay, so I'm not going to get to this, but I'll have to make you guys a video. I'll have to make you guys a video on this, okay? All right, so I want you guys to write this down. You won't have to memorize what Bucks-Hoy means when it comes to lines. All right, so Bucks-Hoy deals with vertical and horizontal lines. I want everyone to write this down. Pencils, pencils, people. Because I can tell if you're writing or not. And some of you who aren't writing, you're not doing as much as you can to help yourself. All right, so when I say, I think I'm going too fast. All right, so when I say that's a Bucks-Hoy line, I'm telling you that you need to use this information right here. All right, so if you see a vertical line, everyone knows that vertical means this way, right? Up and down, that's vertical. Horizontal, like if you're looking out at the horizon, you're looking this way, right? Then at the beach, look at the horizon, you're looking where the sky and the water meet this way. So anytime you see a vertical line, you need to think of Bucks because it will tell you that the slope is undefined. And if I tell you to write an equation for a vertical line, there is only an X in the equation. X equals. And then you find that X value. Do you see what the X value is? Every one of these points, the X value is -4, -4, -4. The equation of this whole line is X equals -4. That's it. That's the whole equation of the line. If you see a horizontal line like this one, you need to think of Hoy. That tells you that horizontal lines have a 0 slope. If I said, what is the slope of this line? You would tell me, oops, the slope is 0 because it's a horizontal line. And it reminds you that there's only a y in the equation. So most of our equations has both an x and a y, right? Not these two. These only have an x or only have a y. So the equation is y equals, well, what is the y value? On every one of these, the second number would be a 2. And that's the whole equation of the line, okay? Y'all good? All right, the last thing I need to do is talk to you about ordered pairs, okay? Because your work yesterday had 10 problems and y'all didn't know how to do them. You didn't know how to do them, and that was my fault because we didn't get that far yesterday. So if you turn in your paper from yesterday or your assignment from yesterday and I told you what was wrong with it, go back and fix it and I'll regrade it for you, okay? All right, so this is what we're using. Remember when we do our tables, we do the change in Y over the change in X. All right, guys, so this is how we're gonna use this formula. So if this is the first X value and this is the second X value, let's go ahead and label that. The first X value and the second X value. Well, isn't this Y? This is the first Y and this is the second Y. So we want to know what is the change in Y over X. This formula will help us every time. You take your second Y value and you always put minus 100% of the time you write minus, and then you write the first Y value. That's the numerator, okay? Then you go to the what? The second X value, X2 is 4. Every single time you do this, you use a minus and you write the first X value. Well, the first X value is 1. So what do we get? Well, anytime you see minus a negative, 100% of the time you see minus a negative, you go bam, bam with your pencil, right? So now we solve it. What's 5 plus 1? 5 plus 1 is 6. And what's 4 minus 1? 4 minus 1 is 3. And can I simplify 6 over 3? What's 6 divided by 3? 2. Exactly right. So the first answer is 2. The slope is 2. Okay. All right, let's do another one. Let's do this one, guys. You all need to practice this. All of you need to practice this. All right, we're going to say this is x1 and this is x2. And if you labeled them the opposite of that, it doesn't even matter. You just have to be consistent. This is our first y and this is y2. Okay. Now, as soon as we label them, we know exactly where everything goes in our formula. It says y2, which is -1, minus, we always say minus our first y, which is 3, over, what's x2? Hold up the right number of fingers. What is x2? What number? Yes, 6. I'm going to use minus, and then x1 is 7. Okay? Do you understand, guys? Now, everybody simplify this. What's -1 minus 3? What's -1 minus 3? -1 minus 3 is -4. What is 6 minus 7? 6 minus 7 is -1. Can I simplify -4 divided by -1? What is -4 divided by -1? A negative times a negative or divided by negative is a positive. The answer to this problem, what is the slope? The answer is 4. Got it? All right, I'm going to do 3 more. I know our time's up. If you don't want to stay, goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow for advisement. If you want a little more practice, stay with me and we'll do these 3. Okay? Bye-bye. If you're leaving, see you tomorrow. Come to advisement. All right, we're going to do the last 3, guys. Okay? So I'm going to say this is x1 and this is y1. And I'm going to label this x2 and y2. Okay? And as soon as I label them, I know exactly where to put them in my formula. So I'm going to start with y2. Y2 goes first, right? Y2 minus y1. You always have to do the y's first. Now, what's x2? What number do I start with? Show me on your fingers. 5, correct? So 5 minus x1 is 4. Penelope, am I going too fast? Am I going too fast? No, okay. All right, y'all tell me what the answer is. Somebody simplify it for me. Good, Americus. Yes, 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 yes. Good, Lynette. Good, Penelope. That's exactly right. 3 over 1. What is 3 divided by 1? 3 divided by 1 is just 3. That's all you need. 3 over. If you wrote 3 over 1, I would never count it wrong. You just don't need 3 over 1. It's 3. All right, I'm going to challenge you, super students here. I want you guys to try the last 2, and I want you guys to chat me your answer, please. All of you try it. Eli, are you listening to me? Can you hear me, Eli? Okay, I'm just making sure. Eli, it's up to you, buddy. Everybody was trying these last two. Americus, that's not what I got. Lynette, that is what I got. All right, look at it closely, Lynette. Excuse me, Americus, don't forget your minus sign between your two numbers. That's the biggest thing people do is they'll drop a negative sign or a minus sign. All right, Kumar, Dakari, are you guys getting an answer? Let me know what your answers are so I can see where you're messing up if you are. Good, Dakari. Now that's the last one, Dakari. That's the answer to the last one. Did you mean to do that? That is correct for the last one. All right, Lynette, did you? Oh, yay, Lynette, you're an expert. Woohoo. Good job, lady. I'm proud of you. You're doing awesome. Look at your puppy. What's his name? What a cutie. All right, Maricus, did you get the last one, sweetie? No, not yet. Okay. Oh, Mika. Mika. Come here, Mika. Come here, Mika. See if she'll come through the camera. Mika. Oh, I lost one. Hello, Mika. Hello. So cute. Americus, that's right. What is 2 divided by 2, Americus? 1. That is the right answer. Beautiful. All right. So the thing you messed up on, I think, on this one is you're going to do 0 minus 1, right? You did that. But on the bottom, you do 2 minus, and then you have to write another negative. And people constantly will drop that minus sign when the second number is negative. People do that all the time. So then with our pencil, we're going to go bam, bam, right? 0 minus 1 is -1 over 7 plus 2 is 9. That's what that one is, -1/9. Okie dokie. And then the last one, it looks like most of you guys got it. 6 minus 4 over 5 minus 3 is 2 over 2, and that equals 1. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for sticking around. If y'all want to look at some of the problems from yesterday together and I'll help you, I'll be happy to do that. It's up to you. Do you want to pull up your assignment from yesterday? Either of you? Dakari, Lynette, Americus? You got to tell me. No, Lynette, you're good? Americus, okay, sweetie. Americus, did you finish yesterday's work? You want to do something together? Okay, let's do something together. Dakari, how about you, buddy? Did you finish yesterday's work? All right, let's all pull up yesterday's work if you want to. So I'm going to share mine and you guys have yours up too because they all have the same problem, right? They all have the same problems. All right, so I'm going to Wednesday. Slope practice. Yeah, of course, Dakari, you're welcome to go or you're welcome to stay and we'll do some of the problems together. It's completely up to you. All right, I am sharing with you the worksheet. Here it is. All right, so since you guys can write on these, I would suggest that you do that. I would suggest that you pull up your little writing tool. And now we're going to make, do y'all have this document up? Do you have this document up? Okay, So let's make a right triangle. So we're going to do this. Oh, I'm writing on the original. Don't do that, Miss Richardson, you goofball. Wait, hold on. How can I do this? I'm going to take my original and I'm going to have to make a copy of it, I guess. I almost wrote on the original, you guys. I almost gave everybody the answers. I wouldn't want to do that. All right, let me make a copy of this. I'll just make a copy of it right here. Copy. Okay, then I'm not writing on the original. All right, do y'all see this? Do I need to reshare? Let me just reshare just in case. All right, so we're gonna all take our little writing tool. You're in Kami. I'm not on Kami, but I can still write on it, I think. And now I'm gonna make my right triangle. Did you guys do that? All right, how tall is our triangle, guys? 2, right? And then how wide is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do y'all agree with me? And the last thing you got to check is that going up and to the right? Is it positive or is it negative? Which one is it? Show me with your fingers. Is it positive or is it negative? What is it? There's just 3 of y'all. You're going to have to answer me. I'm going to pick on you. It's positive, right? So number one is 5/2. Got it? Did you get it right, Americus? Did you get it right, Dakari? Number 1 is 2. What did I just say? I said it backwards, didn't I? Oh, sorry. No. Yeah, just kidding. Don't pay attention to what I say. Look at what I wrote. 2/5, right? Yes, Lynette, you're welcome to go. You don't have to stay. Bye, sweet girl. Y'all don't have to stay. I was just trying to help you. It's up to you guys, okay? All right. So how about number 2? Can we do our right triangle, guys? All right. How tall is our triangle? Oh, it's just me and you, Americus. You don't have to stay. I'm not forcing you. I'm just trying to help you. All right, what did you get? I got 4/5. Am I right? My final answer is 4/5. Am I right or wrong? Do I get credit from my teacher or not? When I said 4/5. What do you think? Nope, I'm wrong. Why am I wrong? What's wrong with this? If that's my final answer, why am I wrong? It's because it's negative. That's right. So look, I'm going to draw you a beautiful picture, Americus. Are you ready? That means positive. This means negative. And then look, if I give him a nose and put a U under it, oh, that was not, it's supposed to be a straight line. So if I thought I was erasing his nose only. Look, this is Mr. Slope guy. So this is a long nose with a U under it because a vertical line is undefined, and then his mouth is a straight line with little dimples because those means 0. Horizontal lines are 0. Okay, so memorize Mr. Slope guy. He'll save you some time later. All right, let's look at number 3. The 2 dots are here to here. All right, what's my rise? How tall is my triangle? Show me with your fingers. 1, exactly. What about my run? 4, exactly right. So what is my answer? What number goes on top? Yep, you got it. Fantastic. That's the answer, -1/4. You get full credit. All right, let's do number 4. See if you can beat me. Yes. Asparagus, you're doing it. Woohoo. All right, the rest of them. How do I go down? Let's see. It's not working. Oh, I got to turn it into a mouse. All right. So you got these. So look at number 7. What is the slope? What is that word? What is the slope for number 7? Yes, very good. What about number 10? What's the slope for number 10? Brilliant. Good. All right. So the only things we need to do is on 8 and 9, decide what points we're going to use. So for number 8, I would put a point at 0, 0. And then I would put a point at 1, 2 right there. Does that make sense? So then what is my slope on that one? 2. Very good. All right, what about number 9? Let's do a point at 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. Put a point at 4, 0. Oh, I was supposed to stop this a long time ago. Stop recording.